1100, and we are here live in Southwest Florida in my studio, aka inside my RV where I live and work full time with my sweet baby kitty, baby Bjorn. And it is Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. Hopefully you're having a great day so far. Maybe you have plans for the weekend. I don't know. We're gonna do a super fun demo today. I busted my tail since I last saw you to complete 2 hats so that I could show you how we decrease the crown to make the beautiful nightingale hat. I'm going to show you how to convert a regular circular to double point needles to do the crown on this one, and I'm going to show you how to do the whole thing with a long circular in the magic loop technique. So that's what we're going to do today, and I'll put the camera on this tripod so we can get a perfect overhead shot. But I will wait a minute for people to pop over from pre-chat and notifications. So if you're joining live, please say hello. If you end up watching the recorded version, please also feel welcome to say hello. I reply to comments all the time throughout the day. Not at night. I'm sleeping then. Anyway, as long as I'm awake, I'm replying. Let's see. Hi, Sharon, Judy, Tina, Thea, Herlander, Judy, Carrie, Thea, Lori, Karen. I'm reading on the computer. It's a little bit easier to see sometimes. Hi, Elizabeth and Ann. Good morning. Happy Friday, everybody. Hi, Joe. Hi, Carrie. Good morning. I don't think I tied this enough. I did that little trick today where I tied the bandana to my ponytail and then rolled it all up to make a messy bun and then tied it, but I don't think I tied it enough. Hi, Joe. Hi, Chrissy. Good morning. Hi, Val. Good morning. I'm also wearing the Sabrina Vest. You can find this pattern on my website. I've been going through my bins to figure out what I'm keeping and what I'm going to be selling for the next sample sale. The next sample sale is coming very soon, and this is one of the pieces that I decided to keep. I'm trying not to keep many pieces because I really would like to downsize further. I have 7 bins full of samples, so I'm trying to narrow it down to less than a bin that I keep, which is not easy to do, but as long as they have to be in storage and not with me, I'd rather them be enjoyed by other people. That was the secret to my success for downsizing in the first place this year, and I'm sticking with it. Hi, Trudy. Good morning. All right. I think I think a bunch of people have made it over. You know, I know people trickle in throughout the show, and that's fine, but I just don't like to get started until the people that are coming to the beginning make it. So that's why I just wait a couple minutes. What are we? 3 minutes in? Perfect. Okay, so let's turn that little light on. That might help too. And get my tripod set up. For any of you that are tutorial makers, you can find this. You can find this. What do you call it? You can find this tripod in my Amazon shop under the camera recording equipment folder. It's really wonderful. It has lots of different settings. I've been using this for years for my tutorial videos. I love it very much. Let's see. We're going to do a super fun... Let's see if I can get caught up to live on here. Am I caught up? Maybe? Okay, yeah, I'm caught up now. Can everybody see my hands okay? Thank you, Carmen. I love this top too. It has sentimental value to me for a couple of reasons. In fact, I should actually look at the camera before I say this. This is an important thing to tell anybody who feels like they get really upset when they get rejected. I just want you to know that sometimes when one door closes, it does not necessarily mean that all doors are going to be closed. It's just that one door. The first time when I first made this vest, I submitted it to, I actually designed it for a magazine, and when it arrived at the magazine, the magazine editor did not like it, wrote me a very rude email and told me, surely you sent the swatch and not the finished garment, because this is unacceptable to print in my magazine. And I was devastated at first, and then I told her, that's fine, just return it to me, because I loved it and I knew that I could style it and wear it and sell it. And people have loved making this pattern for many years, and this was many years ago, and I didn't give up, and I'm still doing what I do. And so anybody that needs to hear that, I just want you to know, sometimes it's not about you. Maybe somebody's having a bad day. Maybe somebody's has an issue with something else about you. You don't know. All I want, and I'm not saying this for you to feel sorry for me, but sometimes I feel the need to say this when I wear this top, because sometimes things are out of our control, but it doesn't mean you have to give up on anything just because of one person's opinion. What do we always say? Other people's opinions of me are none of my business. Now, it did bother me professionally for a little while, but I just want to point out that I didn't give up. I brushed the dust off and I kept on going. And if somebody might need to hear that today, so that's why I wanted to share that. Okay, so now we'll turn the camera back around and we'll get ready for our tutorial. Okay, sometimes we all need to hear a little message of just don't give up, right? Okay, so this is our finished hat here. Okay, it's our finished hat, and so we start in the round at the bottom here, we work even in the round, and then we do the decreases at the crown. Now, depending on whether you used a straight, you know, a regular, not straight, a perfectly sized 16-inch circular knitting needle, as we start doing the decreases, it will get difficult to keep all of the stitches on the needle. We're going to go down to, I think it goes down to like 9. Where did I put the pattern? I had the pattern open here, so here we go. I think we go down to 9 stitches. Well, the pattern is sized. There's 3 sizes. Let me see what we go down to on the last row, though. We go down to 9, 10, 11, and 12 stitches. The pattern comes in 4 sizes. You can make it, what sizes did I make? Let's see. You can make an 18, 20, 22, or 24-inch hat. And so depending on which size you make, you'll end up having 9, 10, 11, or 12 stitches on the last row. Pretty much impossible to do that on this size circular needle. So what I like to do is at this point, I like to convert my stitches to the double points. And what you'll see when we do this is that when your stitches are established like this, it's a lot easier to get started with the double points than when you actually cast on. For some reason, casting on has more of a learning curve than actually using double points on established stitches. Who knows? I think so anyway. All right, and someone asked a question about hat sizing. You'll have to measure your head to see which size you want or how tight you want it. Well, Stitches by Sharon asks, can I do the 36 instead of 40? She's talking about the cast on number of stitches. And that's an interesting question for a couple of reasons. I would prefer for you to go back and look at the sizes that those numbers reflect. Measure your head. Think about the ease of how tight or loose you want your hat. We have a kitty. You know, and also make sure that you have the same gauge. If you're not getting the same gauge, you're not going to get the same size regardless of how many stitches you cast on. So you need to know your gauge, you need to know the size you want to make, meaning measure your head, and once you do those 2 things, then you can decide which size hat you want to make. And you know, you may think you have a small head, doesn't necessarily mean you do. You'll have to know, you'll know once you measure it. Okay? All right. Hi, Suzanne. Okay. Baby Bjorn, I'm going to need you to turn you around a little bit. No, I think people would prefer to see your head than your tail. Here we go. How about sitting like this, and then you can watch the yarn? Huh? You want to sit like that? Okay. Everybody ready then? So we're going to show how to start the crown on this set of knitting needles, and then we'll show how to do it on the magic loop one as well. And although I can't see the comments on my phone, I have my computer in front of me and I'm keeping it open so that I can answer questions as best as I can while knitting from the chat there. Okay, so I'm going to be doing my first decrease round for the crown on this hat, while at the same time converting these stitches to the double points, okay? So let me go back to the pattern real quick. So 30, we're gonna do this onto 3, okay. La 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 la. Where do the comments go? There we go. Okay, so it's the first decrease round is to knit 2. Whoops. We're going to knit 2 and then purl 2 together. So when this wasn't a decrease round, it would have been the next round in the pattern, which was to knit 2, purl 2 around, but I'm going to knit 2, purl 2 together around to start decreases. Yeah, he loves to feel the yarn go between his toes. I don't know why. It's so sweet. Okay, so I'm decreasing down, for the size I'm making, I'm decreasing from 40 to 30 stitches. So I'm thinking ahead and going, okay, well, that's pretty close to that's pretty close to 9 on each stitch, 9 on each row. So I'm thinking I'm going to do this on 3 needles, but you could do it on 4 and just divide it out, do 7 instead of 9 or whatever. All right, so I'm gone from this needle, and then I'm going to go to the next needle and leave those stitches on and slide them to the middle so that they don't fall off, and then continue on in my pattern. Knit 2 and purl 2 together. And then knit 2. Thank you, Anne. You shouldn't have any problem taking circular knitting needles on an airplane. No problem whatsoever. I've been taking knitting needles and crochet hooks on airplanes for years. The only issue I've ever had is with the length of my scissors. So if you're going to take a regular set of household scissors, those will be too big. But if you take small crafting scissors, you should be fine too. Also, you can check all of that information on TSA, and you can check all of that information on whichever airline you're flying with. Okay, so we've got 9 on that one too, so I'm going to switch to another needle. Okay, knit 2. We might end up using the 4. Let's see. It's a question that gets asked a lot. I should probably write a blog post about it and share all of the important links so that you have a handy reference source. Yeah, scissors need to be small, and I don't recall the number. I'll tell you what, I will do the research. I'll put together an article about it, and I'll share it next week, because I think it is really important for everybody to know and to not get so stressed out when you're traveling. It depends on the size of the blade of the scissors. And when in doubt, don't take expensive tools. Take your lesser expensive tools in case you have to replace anything. But I've been traveling for work for years and having to take, to go tape TV shows on knitting and crochet. So not only have I had to travel, but I've had to travel with a lot of tools, and I've never had a problem, except with large scissors. Never a problem with knitting needles, never a problem with crochet hooks, never, on any airline. Okay, so now we've switched our stitches to the double points, and then you would continue on and work the rest of the crown. I'm going to show the rest of the crown on this one, but what I'm doing, the stitches I'm doing on either one would be the same. It's the same exact pattern. Oh, baby Bjorn, I got to move this yarn over you. Is that okay, sweetheart? Here, you want to hold it? You hold it. Here, that one can be yours now. And I'll work on this other one. Okay, so move that out of the way. Hi, Marlene. Okay, so now we're going to do that same round, because we're set up to work that first round here on this pattern as well. So this one we're doing magic loop. And so that first decrease round is knit 2 and purl 2 together, and we'll repeat that all the way around. And then as long as we have time, I will finish this hat because I think it's really interesting to see how you finish the crown. Does anybody have any questions? Yeah, I'll put together an article, Holy Hummer. You know what bothers me the most about when I get asked questions is that I feel bad for people being stressed out before a trip. You're supposed to be excited before a trip, not stressed out. So if I can do anything to alleviate those stresses, I will. I'm rushing through this round just to get to the next part, since I already showed this on the last one. So please don't feel intimidated that I'm rushing. I want to get to the next thing to show you. All right, so now we're ready to turn our needles. Again, this is magic loop, so once I do half the round, we talked about this yesterday. If you want a better lesson on magic loop knitting, you can watch where we got started on this pattern yesterday. I also have a very detailed magic loop knitting tutorial that's a video here on YouTube and an article on my blog as well. All right, so this is the second half of that same round, which is to knit 2 and purl 2 together. What size hat? I'm making the 20-inch hat. And I saw Marlon for a few minutes yesterday, and he loved the hat. That's why I decided to make another one in that darker color called, I think it's called Night Sky. I'll check in a second. I was curious to see if he thought that this was something he'd wear. You know how kids can be picky about things that are handmade. I mean, it's just a reality. It is what it is. All right, what did I do here? I dropped a stitch. Oh, goody, look at this. We have a mistake to fix. This is what I was hoping would happen by doing, okay, I gotta grab, can you see this stitch down here? I dropped a stitch. Now this is big enough, I can probably do it without a crochet hook, but let me go grab a crochet hook. His puppy's doing great, getting potty trained and getting better at all that good stuff. But while he was here yesterday, I was curious to hear his thoughts on this hat, and because I had made it in this lighter color, he's like, oh, Jess would love that hat. I said, okay, fine. And I realized I'm making, oh, by the way, look at how much yarn I have left from this first ball after making 2 of these hats. So I think you're going to get at least 2 hats out of 1 ball of this yarn, if not 3. I'll measure it later when I know for sure, but I'm guessing that you can get 2.5 hats out of it. This color is the one that I showed Marlon yesterday, and he says, oh yeah, I'd wear that color. So it's possible that if I gift these hats to Marlon and Jess, that I could get a beautiful photo shoot from them. This is called Night Sky. Okay, so we've got Wisteria and Night Sky. And since I want to keep one of the hats for myself, I'll give the other Wisteria hat to Jess and give the Night Sky hat to Marlon, and maybe get them to do a photo shoot for me. Okay, so I've got this drop stitch down here, so I'm going to pick it up with the crochet hook and grab those ladders and just pull it through. Okay, super easy. If you can catch it right away, it is so easy to pick up a drop stitch. The key is paying attention, you know, making sure that you are paying attention to what you're doing. All right, so those 2 stitches needed to be purled together. So we'll purl them together. Oh, get the yarn in front to purl them together. Yeah, I'm excited that I made a mistake, because the best way to teach how to fix mistakes is to make them. And when you can make them naturally, not just fake them to show mistakes, I think it's just that much more real looking. Okay, so we'll get the front stitches back. Yeah, it'll be nice to have them model the hats, I agree. All right, I'm going to go back to the pattern for a second and make sure that I'm pretty sure I do an even round next. Yep, it's going to be knit 2, purl 1 for the next round. Look at all those kitty paws. Baby Bjorn, you're so sweet. All right, so the next round is to, after you do a decrease round, usually speaking, you do a an even round. Depends on the pattern, but in this pattern we do. So it's knit 2, purl 1 around. We'll keep that crochet hook handy just in case we drop any more stitches. But see, because I knew what I was supposed to be doing in the pattern, there is a catnip toy pattern on my website, and it has a knit and crochet version. It's a little mouse that you can make in knitting or crochet and fill with catnip. You can find the pattern on my website, and you can also find the video tutorial here on YouTube. And it was a hit when I made them for Bjorn and Becker. And I should probably make another one for Bjorn. Maybe we'll do that next week. We'll make Bjorn a new toy. Would everybody like to do that with me? Okay, this is the second half of that second round of the hat pattern. What did I do here? Oh, it looks like when I was talking, I missed one of my decreases in the last round. Probably when I realized I had a drop stitch, so I'm just going to fix that now. These 2 purl stitches should have been purled together in the last round, so that'll be fine. So then we'll knit 2 and purl 1 around. Yeah, you could definitely find the pattern now. If you guys want to make the pattern now, it is available now. But yeah, I will, I'll make another one for Bjorn next week. Gosh, and Becker used to love hot pink. I don't even know if Bjorn has a favorite color. Okay, so now, next up, we're going to do the next decrease round. Let me just double check. I'm pretty sure I remember what it is. Yeah, knit 2 together, purl 1. Knit 2 together, purl 1, knit 2 together, whoops, purl 1. Becker used to be obsessed with hot pink. He stole a bikini top of mine and carried it around as a lovey, which was one of the funniest things I ever saw. And anytime something was hot pink, he went crazy for it. He was so funny. So sweet and so funny. You know what, Judy? That's a great question. And in the slip stitch on this pattern, I actually tried it both ways, and I thought it looked identical, so I don't think it matters. However, in general, whichever way you decide to slip, whether it's knit or purl wise, you just want to be consistent throughout the pattern. But I didn't notice a difference, and that's why I didn't mention it in the pattern, because I thought however people prefer to do it is fine. No, Angela, it wasn't Pepto-Bismol pink. It was bright raspberry hot pink that he loved. He loved a very bright raspberry, like lipstick bright raspberry. Raspberry sorbet, kind of bright pink. He loved that color, and he would go crazy for it. And it's funny because I love that color too, so I had a lot of stuff that color, and he would steal things that I had in that color. Hi, Erica. Is Picasso with you today too? All right, we did the second decrease round. And look, we've got so many less stitches here. Now we're going to do a round that's even, so it'll just be knit 1, purl 1 around. And then we'll have one more decrease round, and then I'll get to show you how we finish the hat. All right, so this round should be knit 1, purl 1 around. These hats are very quick to make, which I think makes them great candidates for selling if you're going to be selling or doing a group of gift making this year. Also, I thought it was really interesting that Marlon liked them so much. So that might be a good indication that even picky people that don't always love handmade things like it. You know, sometimes I think that's pretty exciting, a pretty exciting trend to watch too. Okay, almost done with this round. What brand of what am I using, Trudy? The yarn is Lion Brand Respun Thick and Quick, and the knitting needles are from a set that I found on Amazon, and both are linked on the pattern pages. Hi, Donna. Okay, so now I just want to double check that I'm going to do this as this, the way the pattern calls for it. Yep, round 5 is the last decrease round and the last round of this pattern. We're almost there. Thanks, Judy, for sharing the link. Hopefully that's what the person was asking about. Oh, sharing both of them. Thanks, Judy. All right, so we're just going to knit 2 together all the way around this time. And we'll be down to our final set of stitches. This hat is so quick to make. I love how fast this was. I mean, shoot, I made 3 hats in a couple of days while working full time on everything else that I'm working on. That's incredible. And I won't be able to wait till Christmas. If I could have waited for Christmas, then I had 2 presents done, but I know they want. Yes, you can do this hat in any weight yarn. I won't be able to, I won't have time to talk about how to figure out the gauge on all that, but we can definitely do that next week. I'm getting a new whiteboard for doing more teaching at the table here, so we'll be doing that next week, and I'll be talking about gauge. But yes, as long as you have a gauge and a cast on that works for whatever size you're looking to make, and you stay in a multiple of 4 stitches, so 80 stitches, 72 stitches, 64 stitches. If your gauge comes out to be a number that's not divisible by 4, you would either need to go up or down a couple of stitches until you got divisible by 4. But this pattern can be worked on any number of stitches as long as it's a number that's divisible by 4. This could be an amazing cowl if you didn't do the decreases at the crown too. You could make a matching cowl for this. Okay, so look at this. We're down to our last few stitches here. Now I gotta find some tools. Gotta move baby Bjorn's butt over a little bit. Oh, sugar, I hate moving you. I do, and I thought I grabbed all my tools this morning and I didn't. You're welcome, Lori. Yeah, it'd be gorgeous in any weight yarn. All right, I gotta go look for more tools. Hold on. Don't tell me I lost my tools. You know, I had all of this sitting out, and then when Marlon stopped by yesterday, I threw everything in a bin that was on the table so that we could sit and talk, and I didn't organize it well at all. And I think some of it might be under Bjorn too. Let's look under you, Bjorn. It's not in there. All right, let's look. Ouch. Hit my head, but I'm okay. All right, let's see what's on. Oh, there's the scissors. We're getting there, sugar. We're getting there. Just need to find the yarn needle now. There it is. Yeah, thumb warmers would be great. Actually, it does have a natural thumb hole because of the yarn over in the mock cable. You might not even need to make a thumb hole if you wanted to do mitts. However, if you were doing this in a thinner yarn and changing gauge, then that hole would not be big enough. That yarn over hole is only big enough right now because of the size yarn that I used. Anyhow, okay, so now that hat is almost done. This one is done. So we're going to cut this tail long. You know what, I might move the camera now so that you can see me working. Let's see. All right, we'll move this back. And you'll see how much space I have and how much space Bjorn has taken up. Look at that little sugar. Look at him. Anyhow, okay, so now the hats. I thought it would be easier to see the length of everything I'm doing if I did it back this way now. So I'm going to cut my tail pretty long because I want to have room to work. I made it a little too long, but too long is better than too short in that respect. And now I'm ready to thread all of these stitches onto the yarn needle and off of their live stitches here. So I'm going to slide the stitches all back on, and I'm just going to loop them off. I'm going to take that loop and pull it off the knitting needle, kind of like you're slipping stitches. It's kind of like a slip stitch, but you're sliding them onto the yarn needle and then pulling the yarn needle to cinch them. Okay, so we've cinched the first half of those stitches, and then we'll get the other half of the stitches lined up and we'll slip those off. Oh, maybe this would have been better in the overhead shot. Whoopsie, next time. And I'll slide those through. Okay, so now if I tighten that, I'll cinch up that hole completely. Isn't that amazing? But what I like to do at this point is pop my needle through that hole while it's still not totally tight and get it to the wrong side of the fabric, and then now I'm going to pull tight enough that I can get that hole cinched really tight, and then I'll secure with a knot. And then I can just weave in my ends. All right, so we're going to weave back and forth, and just like with any other project, we weave back and forth multiple times, multiple directions. The more time you spend on this, the less likely that those tails are going to come back out, right? So we'll just keep going back and forth. I'm so excited to give these matching hats to Marlon and Jess. I'm excited that they're excited. Well, I don't know if she is. We didn't talk to her about it, but I know her style, and I know she'll like a cozy hat too. And they are definitely cozy. And there we go. We have a finished, beautiful knit hat that didn't take very long to make at all, and we're going to have a matching one in the dark. Oh, these colors look so pretty together too. This is Night Sky and this is Wisteria, which ends up being like a dark denim blue and a beautiful pale mauve. Yep, you could add pom-poms to these. The yarn might be beautiful as a pom-pom. I'm not going to, yes, it gets cold enough for hats in Florida. Absolutely, Lori. You know, everything's relative. Wherever you live, you end up feeling your seasons, and you end up getting hot and cold. It may sound strange to those of you that live in more specifically colder climates, but we definitely get cold here. It sounds ridiculous to other people, but we still get cold here. The other night, it was in the 80s when I was outside with Marlon, or with Bjorn at night, and the wind was whipping, and I put a sweater on. But I've also been dealing with over 100 degrees heat index for months, so it's all relative. It's still, you know, a 20-degree change. Yeah, you can put a faux pom-pom on here. You could do a yarn pom-pom. I'm not going to put anything on them to make sure the kids like them this way first. If they would like those additions, I can absolutely put it on. Great, Martha. I'm glad you enjoy it. Does anybody have any other questions? I'm glad we could do this live. I love teaching live. I love the ability to answer everybody's questions. I hope it helps you as well. I would like to continue doing this during the show. So, oh, thank you, Lori. Thank you so much. So if you have requests for things that you would like me to teach live with this tripod, let me know. Next week, I think we're going to, oh, it's a sweet baby. Oh, I go crazy when he does this for me. Maybe he's thanking Lori too. You thanking Lori for her super chat? Yeah, you are. Anyway, next week I want to talk about converting hat sizes to converting the size for making different hats and things by changing the gauge with different yarns like it's been asked about here. So we're going to do that with the board, and we're probably going to do some working behind the scenes of the Crochet Design Challenge. I'm going to show you step by step what the process is for figuring out the design, drawing it out, sketching it, coming up with my gauge and all that good stuff too. And like I said, I would love to get your recommendations for things that you would like to see me teach live in 30 minutes every day. So I'm open to your ideas. I certainly have my own ideas too, but I'm always open to suggestions. You know that. It's a baby. That's a sweet baby Bjorn. I don't know what I'd do without him. I think I'd go crazy. I don't know. Or I'd be too sad, maybe. I don't think he'd wear cat booties. I don't know. I don't think so. We'll make him a catnip toy. I know he will like that. And then I'll take videos of him playing with it so you can see too. He likes catnip toys. All right, well, thank you all so much for taking time out of your busy day to spend a few minutes here with me. I hope you enjoyed my demonstration and tutorial, chatting with me and everyone else. Let us make time to create, share, and inspire today and every day. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody, and we'll see you on Monday. Bye-bye.